because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
But this real sense that what you do as you emerge out of Middle Earth in your real life is you hope, because Tolkien's so good at capturing that.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. A video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set with a cloud.
And I said, I'm not happy, I've got bits wrong here. And she said, yeah, but that's all part of the learning process. That's all part of that makes it unique to you, that those kind of imperfections within it.
Good evening. Welcome to the Toy Box of Livestream and Podcast, a place where all the toys and artifacts of interests and hobbies of yesteryear get thrown into a box clumped all together, where sometimes there's a mishmash of all kinds of sizes, shapes, old, new, random pieces, full pieces, dolls, cars, track and pieces of Lego even, all gathered together in one place, and they have a little bit in common of that location, and sometimes they go on an adventure, and then when Andy comes they all fall back into shape and pretend that they are not alive. This is Faith and Geekery. My name is Mark, and this is...
Hi, I'm Shelby.
Hello, Shelby. And Shelby is a returning guest, and we're a bit thin on the ground tonight, but that's not going to stop us. And tonight we are going to be later talking about fan fiction. And so I'm interested in this and have no experience of this whatsoever.
Really?
So I'll be very interested to hear more about it. We have got comments to be shared at some point. We have the Geeks Gallery or the Geeky Gallery. We have Geeky News. We have the quiz. And this evening is brought to us by Shelby. So thank you, Shelby, for being willing to read that, to lead that, but prepared by Tim, your partner. So
yes,
that'll be exciting to come across. But we ask the question that we always ask at the beginning of these things: what geekiness have we been up to? So folks, please feel free to comment. But Shelby, over to you. What have you been up to recently?
Okay, does it count commissioning an artist to draw my Dungeons and Dragons character?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was so exciting.
I was going to say, so folks should know you as a returning guest, but you play a character in our D&D campaign. Remind folks if they haven't come across that before.
I play Killian Greentail. I'm a halfling druid. In our D&D game for Faith and Geekery.
And is that what you've been commissioned? Is that what you've commissioned to be drawn? And
yeah,
created?
I commissioned Killian to get drawn by one of my favorite artists, who's in the UK, and you can sometimes see them in MCM.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. I think it's looking good. I've been able to see.
Yeah. Oh, it's all finished. So the finished final piece, and I'm just like, I love it. It's so
that is fantastic, but not for general distribution.
It's
not
for
streaming.
Just for funsies. That I think would cost a bit more money. To put that on there But I think, other than that, I've been doing the same thing. As far as geekiness goes, since May, all of my free time is dedicated to fan fiction, so that's why this is relevant.
Very good. And Tim, your other half has said new D&D books. DM for Epoch is very happy. Fantastic. I believe those are the newly dropped ones. So that is fantastic. And my character is also really benefiting from the new stuff. And I've forgotten Spellfire, something fire, which is part of the subclasses, blah, 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 blah. So I won't bore folks who aren't into D&D about that, even though I could, if I remember the title of it. I have been up to various things. Since I was last live, I have appeared on another podcast with a voiceover of a character, which I'm so excited about. But and I was just saying off air that my voice is a bit croaky. I've been croaky for over a month, and so microphones and volume levels are a bit rubbish. So apologies for that. But it is partially my voice and my breathing and all that problems. But there's anyway. But yeah, I was even kind of a little bit kind of growly and gravelly for the character, and so I offered that on a voice, and it appeared on the podcast, so that made me very happy. The other thing is that I've been working on the 3D print of the cosplay skull, which I mentioned last time I think we gathered, and that has now arrived at the theatre, and they are building it, and they are also very excited, and so that is also just like really special and fantastic and unique, and so that's really cool that the cosplay that I was wearing last year is still relevant and still kind of drumming up conversation about it. And finally, I just watched a couple of nights ago Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. Yeah, and that is just fantastic.
Was it good?
That's available on Netflix, and it's just the way he kind of presents it. It's the whole kind of genre, the palette of colours, the just how you get a feel for Frankenstein and the monster, and you just I would say that if you're into that genre anyway, by all means watch it, but it feels quite mesmerizing that it just feels that you are there, and it just engulfs you. Do you know what I mean? You're just there. And sorry, Tim has just also put some things even came out today.
Yeah, there's more D&D stuff.
Oh, fantastic. So that is basically what I've been up to. Folks, please do comment. You've got a few more moments before we move on to the next thing. But so life has just been a bit busy and chaotic, and obviously doing real life stuff as well as other life stuff. I love real life stuff. Do I mean that?
What does that mean?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just, but it's been really kind of quite good for geekiness and otherwise. And I think that is to balance out busyness of work and life and all that gubbins as well. So that is fantastic. And my oldest turned 11 last week, as that was fab, and having chats with other 10/11-year-olds about game consoles, and like, oh, what number game console? I was like, the original PlayStation, I'll have you know. And they're like, whoa. And then one of the kids is like, my dad has got a Game Boy Color. And I was like, oh, fantastic. And Ruben went, my dad's got an original. And I was like, well, yes, I do. So all is good. So that is enough about geekiness, and we shall move on to I'm going to say it really slowly so I can get the video up. The geeky news.
This is the Faith and Geekery News, broadcast to your home and around the world.
So tonight we've just got one slide, and it's kind of got a whole mishmash of things and things of the news. So one of which is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. That is the sequel to the Mario movie, has dropped. That looks quite exciting, kind of releasing new characters to the film, but Rosalind from kind of previous Mario kind of scenes, features and games, so that's pretty cool. We also have a posthumous star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, or there is going to be, for Chadwick Boseman. I think that's really kind of special and moving. And then I've got a whole raft of pictures down here about either things coming to the screen or things coming to series and or other. So we have Wake Up Dead Man, which is a Knives Out mysteries, coming December the 12th to Netflix. We have Stranger Things at the end of the month coming to Netflix. We have the Moana trailer, which is the live action Moana trailer, which I will come back to that. I think we need to circle back to live action and Disney. But then we have Foundation Series 4 that's been given the green light, which is fantastic. I love Foundation. I think it's another series that I think is, I've already used mesmerizing.
I don't know what it is.
It is enchanting. It's an Apple TV series about now this is going to sound really boring, but like what do they call it? A psycho mathematician or something that basically in a weird in a weird kind of era of time and space, he works out that the empire-ish sort of thing, the empire that kind of exists, is going to fall, and he's mathematically worked out the descent of humanity over the next 1,000 years and how things are going to pan out. And the empire, the foundation, the empire, I've forgotten what to call it, but the empire basically is made up of Brother Dawn, Brother Noon, and Brother what is it anyway? Dusk. And basically they are clones of the same emperor, but in different phases of life, and they hand over to the next version of themselves. And so you've got the same actors playing the same people over this 1,000 years, but with this really interesting kind of how does this big empire survive, and against all kinds of assassinations and bits and pieces, and against this mathematical equation saying they're going to fall, you're going to end soon. And so they're fighting this urge to it's really kind of sci-fi, really kind of it's really clever, and I'm there for it. It ticks the box of sci-fi, fantasy, and kind of epic stuff. It's based on books, but I'm not sure how close it is based on books because I've not read the books. But anyway, that's fab. And there's also they've cast the leads for the Zelda movie, so that's Link and
I forgot they were doing that.
So that's also very fascinating. So that is kind of the news, but I'm going to swing back to Disney Moana, because that's kind of generated some conversation on our Discord. So folks, there's a little plug there. If you want to be part of that conversation, come to our Discord. And also, if you don't want to be part of that conversation, there's plenty more on the Discord. And more content has been added today as well.
Yeah.
So, but this is really interesting of Disney taking almost, well, I think the trailer is like for like from the original Moana, and it's just put it to live action.
Yeah.
And I don't exactly know what we're going to get other than it's just being a live action.
I mean, to be honest, I think it's all a cash grab, really. It was the same for Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. You lose a lot of the magic of animation when you make it live action.
I think we enjoyed the Lilo and Stitch, but I've not been that bothered by the other live actions. And this, again, it just doesn't feel as if there was enough different in order to watch it. And even when I was looking at the trailer going, it says this is live action, but a lot of this is CGI, because it's no way this person would be doing this. So is it live action? Technically, yes. But when you've got an animated cockerel still, and I'm going, but I don't understand it. I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me. It's just for maybe the younger generation of where they go, oh, there's a real Moana rather than a cartoon one. But I'm not sure that for my daughter, who is 8, who was there for the first Moana, whether she will see this just as a cheap knockoff to kind of go, well, that's not my Moana, and she's and, I mean, so she's already 8, so I'm not sure how many people are going to go to it, but maybe seeing The Rock with a full weave, a full kind of head of hair, maybe that might push people if they've dropped that, but they've even been coy about that as well, so I just don't know what it's going to offer that's different enough. And if we're worried about an era of people dropping away from the cinema, is this going to be enough?
Well, I think that's the thing, is that kids' movies always do well at the cinema, like no matter what, typically, like even after post the pandemic, it's still always been really positive, because you want to take your kids somewhere, go to the cinema, kind of thing.
But I'm just not sure, and I just don't know how this is going to go, especially when like the Zelda game, that's going to be really fun. Mario Galaxy movie, that's going to be really fun, because they're not just duplicating something, whereas just to duplicate the same movie but very relatively close. I just and so there was even conversation on the Discord about, actually, well, why is Disney doing it this way when technically, they've got the rights to the Muppets. I would much rather, and I would pay good money to see Muppet Moana movie. Do you know what I mean? That, I'll pay good money for that. I don't even need to see a trailer, but you know that put Kermit and Miss Piggy and whoever in these roles. Like is it Beaker? Me.
Yeah.
Singing I Am Moana. It would be hilarious. So they need to go down that route. They need to make good on the kind of Muppet, identity. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm getting a grumpy old man. So that is the end of the Geeky News.
This is the Faith in Geekery News, broadcast to your home and around the world.
And so we then move on to our next feature, which I believe is the quiz.
I got questions. The quiz.
And for the first time, I'm handing over to Shelby to lead us through the quiz. I imagine we need some pens and paper as
I would
usual.
recommend pens and paper or crayon or other such writing utensil. There's I'm just going to make sure that I don't do what some other folks have done accidentally and read the answers.
Just check. Whilst doing that, I completely forgot to mention that it didn't make the slide. The Line of Duty is returning for Series 7, and that is kind of coming together. So that's another part of the news. But in regards to the quiz, I'll just invite people not to cheat and drop comments to their answers or answers in the comments, because that might kind of, it might
defeats
kind of
the
guide me a little
whole
bit. Yeah.
Purpose.
So
and we
by
want
all
to see
means,
how many of these Mark gets wrong. It's going to be fun. Especially because I have the answers right here, so I don't have to worry.
So Shelby, over to you.
All right. So I figured I'd do this in an accent just to make it all the more interesting.
Your normal accent or a different one? Or are you going to embody kind of Tim? Are you going to try and do a Tim accent?
Absolutely not. I am not doing a British accent. It's awful. I won't subject anybody's ears to that. But I will start with question 1. Now, question 1 is you can get a point or a bonus point because there is hint, technically 2 answers. All right. So on this day in 2014, the Jackbox Party Pack was released on Steam. That rhymes. Which of the following games were contained in the original pack upon release? It's multiple choice. Got A, Split the Room, B, Drawful, C, TKO, or D, Fibbage XL.
Can you say those again?
Yep. So which of the following games were contained in the original Jackbox Party Pack upon release in 2014? You've got A, Split the Room, B, Drawful, C, TKO, or D, Fibbage XL.
See, the thing about that is that I didn't know Steam existed until at least 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so
but you could go back.
Yeah, and I've also got a Mac, so it doesn't a lot of stuff doesn't actually apply on. I've bought 2 fantastic games. I was like, yes, I'm there for. Oh, I've just bought them, and it doesn't work.
Doesn't run on Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's really interesting because. So what is a Jackbox? What?
So Jackbox Party Pack, and there's, I guess maybe 8 iterations of it now.
Okay.
It's actually really great because only one person needs to own it. And everybody else can play it on their phones or tablets. They can interact that way.
Okay.
And so all of these all these little mini games.
Okay, that's interesting. Sorry, that's kind of like showing my lack of knowledge.
It's
and therefore,
really.
I'm just going to guess. I'm just going to guess because
next time we have like a big hangout, we'll play one of the Jackbox games because they're so much fun.
And can you play that over? Is that like online over?
Yeah, you could. Cool. I mean, you still need somebody to stream it.
Yeah.
And there's that little delay, but it's anyway.
Yeah.
I love Jackbox. I'll go on to the next question then.
Thank you.
So question number 2 is only worth 1 point. It's also multiple choice. On this day in 1889, journalist Nellie Bly began her attempt to travel around the world in less than 80 days. How long did her trip take to finish? A, 72 days. B, 74 days. C, 76 days. Or D, 78 days.
Oh, I think I know that one. So Tim has put fact check 11 Jackbox party packs, a starter pack, and a after hours pack.
And I think they've also done it where you can make your own pack, as you can pick and choose.
Oh, cool.
The games from each pack.
Like a pick and mix.
Yeah. And again, most of them are they're super fun.
Oh, fantastic. Is Tim being paid for this? Is that...
No. I don't know.
Placement.
All right. Are we happy to move on to question number 3?
Yes, I think so.
All right. Question number 3 is also only worth 1 point. So Archive of Our Own, also known as AO3, which is a non-profit, open-sourced repository for fan fiction, was founded in October 2008. As of the 29th of October, 2025, how many pieces of work does the site post, rounded to the closest number? A, 15 million. B, 16 million. C, 17 million. Or D, 18 million.
Ooh. Again, another guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on to question 4. This one being worth 4 points.
Oh, 4. Is it a multiple choice out of 4?
It's not. This is our superhero where name the movie and the
rubbish.
And the clue below. I've never heard of this movie, so I'm glad I'm reading it.
Oh, good.
All right, here we go. Captain America, Heimdall, and Gamora are part of an elite special forces unit. Betrayed by one of their own, they seek to exact revenge and prevent a world war in this 2010 comic adaptation. So I need the 3 actors and then the name of the movie.
So, what's his name? And what's her name? Can you say that question again? Because we should have been repeating this, shouldn't we? But
oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Captain America, Heimdall, and Gamora are part of an elite special forces unit. Betrayed by one of their own, they seek to exact revenge and prevent a world war in this 2010 comic adaptation.
Oh, man. I feel as if I've got the actors, but not the name of the film. And I'm trying to work out.
Well, that's still 3 out of 4 points.
Yeah. 1 second then. I'm just going to guess something like... Oh, I can't...
Again, I've never heard of it, so...
I'm just going to guess that, but I don't think it's correct.
But
it's worth a guess. Okay, thank you. That is... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get many points.
Well, question number 5 is worth 2 points.
Okay,
but
that's good.
It might be another one of those guessing kind of ones. All right. Question number 5. At the time of checking, which is at 1910 on the 18th of November, 2025, what is the longest fanfic on AO3, Archive of Our Own? And what's the topic? What's the fandom? So you get points awarded for length if within a 250,000 word count for the answer.
So there's no multiple choice. Okay, I've just got to randomly guess.
So
okay.
there.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
There's technically multiple choice. The multiple choice is on what the fandom is.
Okay.
The extra point is if you can name how many words it is.
And did you say to the nearest what? Did you say
250,000 word?
Oh my gosh!
So the multiple choice is of the which fandom has the longest fan fiction on Archive of Our Own is either A, Lord of the Rings, B, Terminator, C, Pokemon, or D, Final Fantasy. So you get a point for getting that right, and then you'll also get a point if you can guess how many words up to 250,000.
As in it's like collectively or just like one piece? I don't understand.
It's 1,693 chapters long. It's one.
Have you just given the answer? No?
No, that's a hint.
Okay.
It's one fan fiction, so like one, imagine one book. It's 1,693 chapters long.
Do you say it's 165,000 chapters long?
1,693 chapters long.
Holy crap. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to take a guess at that. No, I'm going to take a guess at that. No. I'm going to go bigger. I'm going to go bigger. Right, okay, that's fine.
I mean, you might get the fandom right. I would have gotten it wrong, but yeah.
Sarah, whatever will be, will be.
Yay! Oh yeah, and I mean, because you don't know what Jackbox Party Pack is. We'll see how good your guess is for for question 1. Are we happy to go over the answers?
As good as I'm ever going to get.
Okay. So question number 1 was which of the following games were contained in the original pack upon release? The answers are Drawful and or Fibbage XL.
I guessed Drawful and Fibbage.
So that's 2 points!
So look, I got them there.
Amazing!
Wow, fantastic.
So Drawful is a really fun game, is because players give prompts and then you have to sort of draw the prompt, and then so there's a bunch of prompts. You have to draw one of the prompts, and then you get points by giving a fake answer, and whoever gets I'm not explaining it well.
No, it's cool.
Whereas Fibbage is there's 2 different versions. There's one where it's just fun facts, and whoever gets the closest to the right answer but isn't the right answer, you get points.
That sounds is it articulate or verbosity? There was one like that where you have to kind of give a term. There was a term that or like a film or something like that, and you had to give the closest definition to it and try and lure people away from the real one. Yeah. The idea is to sort of lure people away from the right answer, and you get points for that. But they're so much fun. There's another version of Fibbage that you can make it personal, so you can be like fun facts about yourself, kind of like a 2 truths, 1 lie situation. So with question 2, on this day in 1889, journalist Nellie Bly began her attempt to travel around the world in less than 80 days. How long did her trip take to finish? The answer is 72 days. Oh, rubbish. I think I went just down the Phileas Fogg route, so I was guessing 78. So I know that they had like a day extra, or they thought they were a day over and they were a day before. Anyway, I was wrong, so that's fine.
Question number 3, Archive of Our Own, or AO3, the nonprofit open source repository for fan fiction. How many pieces of work does this site host as of the 29th of October 2025, rounded to the closest number? The answer is 16 million.
I guess 17.
The actual number was 16,130, or 16,130,000 across 75,110 fandoms.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot.
Question number 4. The answer to Captain America, Heimdall, and Gamora are part of an elite special forces unit is, the movie is called The Losers.
Okay.
The actors are Chris Evans, Idris Elba, and Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, I've got those 3. But not The Losers.
I've never heard of it. Apparently it's a comic adaptation.
I think that's what threw me. So I guessed Dark Tower, which I knew starred Idris Elba, I think. But I knew it wasn't the right time or otherwise, which is just complete guess. But
hey, but still use some context clues a bit there. It was wrong, but yeah.
Yay! Go on then. Final question.
All right, final question. Question number 5. What is the longest fan fiction on AO3, and what is the fandom? So the fandom is actually Terminator.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It is one fan fiction. It is 9,861,264 words. The title is Future Shock, Cameron, aka Nobody, by Nobody_TOK715.
Wow. Okay.
I think when Tim looked it up, there's technically a work on there, but it just says milk a bunch of times, and that does not count. That is not a fan.
Good. I mean, I think I basically started off with 100,000, and I thought, oh no, but if it's to the closest, then I went to 1.5 million. Then I scribbled to 2 million, and I was like, 2.5 million, surely.
Surely,
and,
yeah.
So woefully out.
Nearly 10 million.
Okay,
words.
so I got 5 points in total, so that's not bad.
No.
Folks, do please kind of post your kind of your score, not your answers, in the comments, and that'll be fab to see. Or get in touch on our Discord and kind of talk about our past episode chat. And so there should be in a second a QR code up here, if you're able to grab that. Or I know that some kind of phones you can actually now tap on the QR code whilst you see it. If you, it's like a video or possibly.
Oh yeah, if I go onto my camera, I can just. Oh, you mean like on your phone's watching?
On your phone, yeah.
That's really cool.
But I'm not sure if it's just a photo. So test it if you like, if it does a photo or if it does video. But I know that iPhones, other phones are available, can do that from photos now. So that's quite clever. So yes. So do feel free to get involved on the Discord. But now we move on to the subject that has been quite nicely lined up for us via the quiz about fan fiction. Where do we begin, Shelby, with fan fiction?
Gosh. Okay. I guess it's sort of like, and I know I'm going to pull this from like Wikipedia's like a definition of fan fiction, because it's sort of debatable whether an adaptation counts or but apparently, and according to Wikipedia, so don't trust all my sources here, but fan fiction itself as a term has been used since 1938, as far as like, I think back then it was considered just like amateur written science fiction. So at first it was sort of like fiction about fans, and now it's sort of more broadly used to describe somebody likes a piece of work, a show, a TV, a video game, and either it's a self-insert or they hated the ending, so they wanted to change the ending, or there's an alternative universe where they think, I think these characters should run a coffee shop. And it's sort of produced from that, and there's this whole sort of like fair use for it. I think at one point when Anne Rice, I think she's passed away now, but when Anne Rice was alive, she was very anti-fan fiction. Like, she was very litigious. If somebody was posting free fan fiction of Interview with a Vampire on the internet, like, she would go after them with lawyers to try and take it down. So there's like it's sort of like big time, like a big deal. I think the modern fan fiction all came about with Star Trek. The first I want to say OG. I don't know what the word I was looking for, but OG Star Trek is when like the idea of modern fan fiction came about. They're specifically like fan magazines, so like fanzines, I think is what they called them.
And I was going to say, because isn't there? I mean, I guess Doctor Who has done that as well, where kind of people reimagined storylines and ideas, concepts, and that's what it is.
That's kind of the idea of fan fiction, is you love the character so much you want to write yourself how they would explore other situations. Like, I think for me right now, just to get it off the bat of my 100% obsessed, since May of this year, I've done nothing else in my free time but read Hobbit fan fiction, like Fix-Its and all. I've read over 9 million words worth of fan fiction. I mean, mostly Bilbo and Thor in a relationship, but it's not. Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
That was in the back of my mind. I was going to ask, and I didn't know how to do this, because it feels as if there is a what's the word? There's an assumption, or there is a popularity of assuming whether it is kind
Yeah,
of
it
that way inclined.
it's not always, but there is a sort of, I don't know, I want to say like 60% smutty, 40% not, maybe. I think that's sort of it depends on the fandom. I think at least on Archive of Our Own, one of the most popular Hobbit Bilbo / Thorin fan fictions is not. It doesn't have any sort of like, there's romance, but like in the appendices is where it has the like mature stuff. Like it's not a part of the main story. It's just such a beautiful exploration of Tolkien's mythology. And I don't know. I'm obsessed though, and I'm gonna get a tattoo. It's at that point. I've read pretty much everything on Archive of Our Own, and now I'm just following people that are updating as you go.
And so what is it? Is it because it kind of gives you additional material to explore, or is it kind of, or is it just kind of you're lapping everything up because it's of, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out how
I think that's how I feel for it, especially because in a lot of these, it is a fix-it story, which is I mean, if you haven't read The Hobbit, Thorin dies at the end. Spoiler alert.
Oh man, I wasn't ready with the spoilers thing. Actual spoiler. Okay.
Actual spoiler. Thorin Oakenshield dies at the end.
Oh my gosh.
And so for a lot of people, they're like, I can make this better. I can fix this. And so in a lot of them, it is sort of a fixing point.
So without being able to kind of drag the author back or kind of contain them to say, no, I'm not going to release you until you do a better ending, which is a storyline in Misery. You kind of giving your creative ability over to offer something to the world of an alternative
you do it yourself.
Yeah.
I think also for a lot of people, it's you've got these fleshed out characters, and for people that, I mean, the wild thing to me is that almost all of these fan fictions is free. It's free to read. And again, one of my favorite ones is over 200,000 words. Oh, I'm sorry. 577,879 words.
Wow. So, I mean, so if it wasn't for the fact that it's based on someone else's intellectual property, that could easily be a book in itself, couldn't it?
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, it is just sort of being able to have these characters. Like, so maybe somebody, I wouldn't say this for all the fan fiction writers out there. I've written fan fiction, and having characters already fleshed out enough to know their personality and fit them into a certain trope or story prompt, sort of really helps as like the creative juices of it all. And for some people, as an example, 50 Shades of Grey's book was a fan fiction of Twilight.
Oh, really? Is that where that started?
Pretty sure. I should have double checked my work, because this is like a rumor I've had in my head for like 15 years now. But I'm pretty sure that 50 Shades of Grey was originally written as a fan fiction, and then they just changed the names and some of the settings and stuff.
I was about to try and kind of quote it, but I don't know 50 Shades enough to try and put Edward and
I've never read it.
Thingy in it. What's her name? Anyway,
Bella
and
Jacob.
That's it. Team Jacob or Team Edward.
Team Jacob. Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to think of any character name from 50 Shades of Grey.
Never read it.
Of how he glistened in the sun as his skin, Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Fact check: fan fiction of Twilight.
Oh, I was right. See, I knew it in my brain. Like, and so that author, wonderfully enough, took out all of the Twilight references and made like a bestseller and movies. Wow. So it's just sort of...
I think that definitely 50 Shades of Grey definitely lent itself to the digital kind of book market, in order for that people could buy kind of things like that and not have to disclose the covers, because I've heard numerous times that the quality of the writing isn't that fantastic, but it was offering something at the right time in the right way. And charity shops went through a phase of being full of the stuff of the books afterwards. Well, that being said, when they had to buy it on paper, when it became such a success on electric format.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went down that route.
I mean, it's fan fiction. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have. There's always gonna be that in the back of.
Yeah.
I think my very first, I must have been, I don't know, 13, 14. The first fan fiction I read was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan fiction. So, like, it's...
So, not to dwell on that side of it, but there is something here almost about, I don't want to say therapy, but kind of allowing you to walk alongside a character or a set of characters, and that you can kind of play out, I guess... imaginative play, like any kind of thing, whether it's like D&D or Lego or that kind of sandbox kind of playing on game consoles, where you can take existing characters and put them into, it's that creative play, but kind of leaning into the kind of your kind of literature sort of spin on things, and it goes where your imagination is happy to go, and some of that goes in one way and it could go in a multitude of ways, and especially if you're frustrated with the original author's intentions. Kind of,
I know for a lot of fan fictions, or at least the ones that I follow, a lot of it has to do with representation of so for The Hobbit and for Bilbo and Thorin's relationship, even sort of when Peter Jackson's movie was being filmed and stuff, the actors were sort of playing it as, in a way, a romance. Whereas when you read the book, and other sort of like scholarly viewers would say, oh no, they're just really good friends, that kind of thing. It's like, okay. So the fan fiction turns it into be like, no, they loved each other. And here's this beautiful 200,000 word piece on their exploration of that from start to finish. I've cried more with fan fictions than actual novels, and I have read like actual what is I have read original works. There you go, that's the term.
But so they become a vehicle then to explore themes for the really passionate fans, and I say that as in those people who have walked the same journey, maybe reread kind of multiple times, that kind of know those characters inside and out, and maybe dwell on them a bit, and therefore,
or like me, obsess.
Well, I didn't want to assume that, but it sounds as if it gives permission to explore something, and I guess that and
I think trying to, for like the average person, a lot of people do think fan fiction is just sort of like, oh, they kiss and have sex, and it's like a lot of it is really incredibly well written works of art that just have that backing of known characters and sort of behind them.
So I think because again, it's not just in the literature form, is it, that we do that with characters, well-known things. I remember growing up and kind of imaginary play with turtles, with kind of various super figures in kind of imagining you do your own stories. But I guess this crosses into the public domain when you kind of put it on a website and you offer it for others to invest in, to kind of take time to read and otherwise. And so I guess it's a homage, isn't it? In one sense, it is a real kind of homage on sort of say, look what I did with this beloved thing. This is what I would like to kind of add to their legacy. And then whilst technically it wouldn't be, official, but it would still like gain canon, some status and some worth. And again, it's that sharing of a hobby, isn't it? That sharing of a passion that can kind of help lift you, but also kind of like it's that kind of sharing of something that's precious to you that you offer to a community that they also see the worth of that.
And I think what helps as well is, particularly for the fan fictions, so there's a sort of term called OOC, which is out of character. So I tend to avoid fan fictions where I feel like that character would not do that. That character would, even in this coffee shop alternative universe, that character would not behave that way. But for readers who are fans of a particular topic or genre, they have an idea of the characters already in their head. So as a writer, you don't have to explain it. People know that character, so you can sort of skip a lot of the...
It's a bit of a shortcut, isn't it?
Yeah, you can skip a lot of the sort of building blocks unless you're completely changing it. Like I have read some Bilbo Thorne fan fictions where they were animals. So like you kind of have to set up something there to explain, okay, obviously Bilbo's a bunny and Thorne is a wolf. But so I still have to have some kind of lead up into that. But
yeah. Wow. Okay. That's really cool. I'm just trying to, again, I'm trying to think of parallels where otherwise, I mentioned earlier about doing my death mask for my death mask. Sorry, I realised, for some people that's got different connotations. My Hogfather cosplay, and basically what was interesting, I shared that on my personal account as well. And someone just put Hogfather ? And so I responded, kind of went, yeah, sorry, the Hogfather is kind of from Discworld. And I was explaining myself. And then the other person kind of went, no, you don't understand. I do cosplay death as well on Hogfather, and I was like, oh, let me you. And suddenly it was this moment of kind of sharing, which was just so lovely. And I was like, oh, amazing. And this other person's one was amazing in a completely different way. It was almost like a Funko Pop, like bobblehead kind of style. And I was just like, this is amazing, fantastic. And I guess it's all these kind of places where you can find stuff in common, that you are offering this, sometimes meager offering, sometimes fantastic, but sometimes over the top obsession in some views, but you're offering it to like-minded individuals where they will hopefully look after and honor the gift that you're putting forwards, just like the next fan. And I imagine, is it an uplifting community? Is it or can they be sometimes quite critical?
Yes, I think in some instances people can be quite critical. For me, when I'm starting to read a fan fiction that it's not my cup of tea, I don't make any I don't leave any comments. It's just I'm not going to yuck their yum. That's not my bag. But I think because it's the internet, you will always have those sort of like heavy critiques and people who, even though the material is not for them, they will still take offense that it's and so it's just like, okay, it's not for you.
Is that the danger of dealing with someone's impassioned
thing? I think so.
And you're gathering people into a place where it is obsessive-ish, passion-ish, opportunity to kind of really dwell and imagine strongly these sort of things, and therefore maybe it is a bit more of a heightened place.
I think so.
For those people, they can easily jump into that and go, "That's fantastic," but at the same time, be mortally offended if their precious character has been.
Yep. Oh, I mean, there's fights
done.
About relationships. Like, I would never pair that person with that person. I'm like, okay, this one is not for you. So
isn't that fascinating of how you can use the same source material and yet respond to it in such different ways. Sorry, I've put a comment up on the screen. This is from Steve saying, "Evening, sorry I'm late, but I'm claiming as it's the first one I've managed to make live." Welcome, Steve, welcome. And feel free to catch up if you've only just joined us, but thank you for joining us nonetheless. And feel free to join our Discord and stuff like that. Things up on their screen, but you can find it in the blurb or in all various other places. And if you're listening on podcast, folks, then you should be able to kind of find us
navigate
through those ways as well, or find us on our website. Just Google it, Google us or Ecosia us or whatever search engine that you use. So I think I think fan fiction is an interesting thing, and I haven't really explored it. But
I mean, I have one I could recommend you. It's such a cool, anyway, sorry, again, 100% obsessed.
Is there kind of I mean, we've mentioned the
so Archive of Our Own is like currently the most I'd say well known. I think there is like a fanfiction.net, and there used to be a live journal back in the day where people would post their works. Right now, sort of the main, I don't know what the word is when you come together, but the main website for fan fiction would be Archive of Our Own, and it's pretty well navigated. Again, it's hold on, Tim wrote it pretty well.
For those who have a more a more innocent disposition, are the
yes, they're labeled clearly labeled, whether it's general audiences, teenage audiences, mature, and explicit. It's and there's tags, so if you want to avoid certain topics, you can, like, it's a really, I'm like plugging it. It's a nonprofit, so but yeah.
Can I then swing around to one last thing? Because you said about possibly getting a tattoo. Do you mean like a whole script of a fan fiction, or is this, or does this cross over into pictures and
like
illustrations?
because I'm so like, because reading specifically Bilbo and Thorin fan fiction since May has sort of really uplifted me, and sort of I've gotten back into the love of reading. Granted, it's a very specific genre, but I want to get something like picture-wise to represent that union, that relationship necessarily. But yeah, that's my sort of thing for Tim. That I was like, he was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, "Just put money aside for a tattoo, please," because it's so much a part of me now. Like even my current Dungeons and Dragons game, I'm making it very dwarf heavy, just for the love of it. But
because this influences you as well, doesn't it? Then so that kind of. It doesn't just stay on the page. It doesn't just stay in the website. It kind of does that build your
like if I had
vision of that character.
I'd say so. Like
source.
I'd say it really, like, so when I'm thinking of Thorin and Bilbo now, I don't think of either the Hobbit, the book, or the Peter Jackson films. I'm thinking about these characters that I've sort of built from reading so much. I mean, they have a general look. Most of the time, the fan fictions are based off of the appearance of the Peter Jackson films, at least for this one. But yeah, because I think in like OG Hobbit, they were all like described as really old and stuff. So, but it's been a hot minute since I've read the original The Hobbit, to be fair.
I have the original Lord of the Rings, not an original, but I've got the original books in hand, no, in pen. But if I'm honest, I didn't get past the first one because I found
it's a lot.
It's the descriptions and rolling hills and several pages of just, which is lovely. But it's
very Tolkien.
Yeah, and I recognise it as that is the, as you said earlier, the OG of adventures of kind of that fantasy, and therefore it has got a special place because it is the original. But I would say, compared to modern day, where we've kind of we've learnt to how to kind of explore the narrative, the kind of the description stuff, and make it much more snappy. And even in our films nowadays, aren't we? We're more used to kind of. That means that I think we got to a point where we were very kind of, we've worked on the formula of filmmaking so much, but actually I feel as if we've gone back a stage with our series stuff now to kind of to enjoy and dwell on exploring characters a bit more. So maybe we are still learning stuff. Steve's put, skip the Council of Eldron chapter, the rest is amazing, Lord of the Rings. But I also have got to put my hand up that when I first went to the cinema with a girlfriend to see Lord of the Rings, I fell asleep.
And because I'm obsessed, that hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, but I have since watched the full, kind of lot, and including extended things at one point. So, I have more than caught up. But
can I let you in on a little secret that despite the fact that I am 100% obsessed with like Bilbo and Thorin and The Hobbit, I've never seen the last film of the Hobbit movies.
Oh wow!
I know what happens. I've seen clips. My heart wasn't ready for it, and I just never watched it.
Yeah, but
Like, the thing about the Hobbit films, though, is in and of itself, I know it's a movie, but a lot of it is kind of fan fiction-y, because Legolas wasn't even in The Hobbit, the book. So, and then there was, like, the love triangle with Tario.
Spoiler again.
Was that a spoiler? That Legolas isn't in the original Hobbit?
Wow. So what we're coming to a conclusion here is that Lord of the Rings films is actually in itself a fan fiction. Yeah.
Well, see, me and Tim had a debate. He said because they're movies, it doesn't count.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, because how
I
far
really
do you
like
go?
the Rings of Power. Anyway.
Yeah, because I was going to say, is there someone talking about Lord of Rings of Power as well? No, Shelby, we need to geek out in Discord. Drogo Nevet. Oh, thank you, Steve. That makes sense. Love to hear your thoughts of Rings of Power. Yeah. Because I got really into Rings of Power as well, and again enjoyed that kind of drawn out nature of it, because it does just allow you to dwell on some of these elements and bits and pieces. So no, I get that, and I think this is where does fan fiction stop when it's written to then kind of the own director's take on, you know, that is their kind of
like, was this? I mean, the script which was written is fan fiction of The Hobbit. So
where does a screenplay start and fan fiction stop, and how does that kind of?
I think a lot of it has to do with like money, maybe.
Well, yeah, and maybe that's where the you know, like in line of the estate. And so I'm thinking like Mary Poppins. Is it Emma Thompson who's written another Mary Poppins? No, was it something else, or was it Enid Blyton? It's something along those lines of where it's a famous, you know, someone famous has been given permission by the estate to write some more. And they're going, but again, so, you know, maybe that fan fiction does. And again, with Doctor Who, you actually have a lot of the kind of real passionate teenagers of the day writing
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
another one, and that's
me,
now.
Yeah, in my head, it's the Doctor Who fandom where they have written as kids, and I remember someone getting told off by their dad going, oh, this isn't going to amount to anything, and then they've gone, 20 years later, Dad, I'm actually writing for Doctor Who and writing their novels of you know, the extended adventures of ... and that kind of thing falls into big audio, etc. So I can definitely see of how, you know, actually it starts off quite passionate and in one place, and actually it can still have an impact. Tim's, but there was a recent podcast listening to about a lot of audio productions right now are screenplays that can't get the studios to greenlight them for TVs and movies. That's again really interesting, isn't it? But where studios are only wanting to cling on the guaranteed successes for the money's sake, and therefore they are very shy to do. But, you know, I think with BBC and their kind of comedies and bits and pieces, they were more likely to put it into radio first than to ever greenlight it for a studio production of stuff. But I mean, budget's all over the place now anyway, so we can't go too far down that line. So thank you, Shelby, for sharing your passion about fan fiction. And I think that's really interesting, and quite an interesting subject, and we haven't narrowed it down to bits of faith, but I think it's interesting. I don't think we need to. I think it's just
I was going to say, like, do we consider Dante's Inferno fan fiction of the Bible because it's a self-insert?
Yeah, this is interesting. But again, all of these things about artwork, and I'm sorry, I'm stretching it more than the writings, because again,
fan works, we could like broaden it out to.
I mean, the oil paintings of, you know, like thingies, like The Last Supper, you know, all those kind of bits where you're kind of going, how do you envisage it? How do you allow people to explore these themes? And actually, I think there is something about kind of giving people permission in their imagination to kind of go, really dwell on this, explore this, this idea, and kind of pick it apart and put it back together again, and go on a jaunty little adventure and kind of just, you know, engage with this stuff. And I think creativity and freedom to do that is something that should be celebrated.
Do not be like the late Anne Rice and
chase people down and
chase people for free works.
No, I get that. I get that. We are nearly at an end. We've just got time for Geeky Gallery. But again, thank you, Shelby, for leading us through fan fiction. That was fantastic. Thank you. I put this together yesterday, so I've already forgotten. So we have Lydia Moo with surprise, cows. So Lydia had been away to Cliff, and so has got like a backpack with a cow in it. I'm not even sure if it's a water bottle or some sort of cozy, but it's a fuzzy Frisian cow, I think. And then there's another shot of her. I think she's said before she kind of is involved with a local farm, and so there's a couple of Highland cows there, possibly Frisian cows and a Guernsey cow, I'm going to guess. So there's lovely, and I just love cows. That's a part of my childhood. So I'm always a fan of that. Mendip Nomad has been shown a little bit about his kind of miniatures, as well as some architectural geekery, and photos of the UEA Zugerats walking to and from a meeting this afternoon. So very kind of, I'm going to offend, I'm sure, square, blocky, kind of almost pyramidic buildings. And I'm sure if I knew more architecture, I could have used other terms. I was about to make some up, but I better not. I might offend it. So I'm going to move on very swiftly. And then there's a couple. In fact, a couple from me here. That's one of the masks that I posted off. Also had a little fox, local wildlife trying to get to know Diggleson, our chicken. But the chicken is now so not bothered now because it knows the fox can't get in. So the chicken just looks at it. It's like, yeah, you got a problem. And the fox is there kind of going, I'm hungry and cold. But yes, it's fine. But yeah, that's not even the biggest fox either, though. So I'm a little bit concerned for her. But she seems to be fine. Becca has also shared some bits for a JPIC conference, which is joint public issues team stuff, part of the Methodist Church, but also All We Can, which is the charity that she works for, and it's about little kind of placards and otherwise. So hang up your capes, hero, be a celebration, time to give the power away, and such like that. I should mention that there's going to be All We Canuary stuff in January, where we kind of support All We Can and doing the best what we can for charities and such like that. Things from Specky Geek. I've tried to clump all these together from who was offered these. So this has been kind of over the days. This is Specky Geek offering some of his paintings of the gun haulers. I think Warhammer Age of Sigma. It says up there, yes, first game of Age of Sigma. He didn't go very well. But again, there was more conversation on the Discord about strategies and just having fun and all that kind of stuff. And again, another encouragement to get involved in the Discord and share those kind of conversations and extra. And that is the end of Geeky Gallery. So I think that is everything from us now. Is there anything left to say, Shelby? Have you got anything left to add?
No, it'll go on for too long if I continue.
Well, bless you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for sharing a bit about your passion about fan fiction. Don't be a stranger. We look forward to hearing a bit more, seeing you a bit more in our D&D campaign. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying it, and I hope it's hitting well for folks at home or wherever you're watching it, listening to it, or otherwise. And yeah, thank you again, Shelby, for joining us. Thank you, folks, and wherever you are, I hope you have that passion to be creative, whether it's fan fiction, artwork, or hobbies, interests, or otherwise. But we've been given this creativity, and so therefore we should embrace it, and we should have fun with it, and we should let our imaginations run wild. Geek safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.